Hey, you over there. Yeah, you. Say, do you like playing card games? You know, like Genius Invocation TCG?
You TCG player?
Hey, come on now. What's wrong with finding fellow... all right.
But why would you be looking for people?
Whether you're throwing down cards or throwing... There are lots of card players here in the fortress. When I saw you, I immediately thought, sure.
Great! Since you've been here longer than...
I thought you would have already heard everything by now.
Why don't you pick?
All right. Have you heard it? Then, did you know that there are two guys who are always skulking around in the corners? I never really found their gossip very mind-blowing. If you're interested, you can go...
Good to know.
Let me think. Oh, did you know that the Duke was also a
Huh?
That's right. The Duke was an inmate just like you and me. Seems to go from an ordinary inmate to becoming the manager of the whole place, a forbidden zone.
It's just a rumor we've been hearing, but...
Anything else? Not that I can think of, but I'll be sure to tell you anything in...
Take it easy.
Look! There are some people talking over there! Let's...
If you ask me, those pompous parasites on the surface act like they're all a bunch of aristocrats. Do any of them give half a hoot about a bunch of dogs like us?
Hey, speak for yourself!
Oh, you think you're special or something? If you're here, then you're just a convict like the rest of us. I've heard that even if you're released after serving your sentence, going back to life on the surface ain't any better. Once a criminal, always a criminal. Or Mark...
I don't buy...
Hey, how cool would it be if the whole world was destroyed by a giant flood and...
What kind of filthy bilgewater are you spewing? I have Listen, things ain't so great on the surface, but who says that you have to leave? I've heard that you can still stay here, and who wants to live in the...
And what makes you think they want to hire someone like you?
Whoa. Sounds like they're really Speaking of which, Paimon never heard anyone use the words overworld or underworld when we were living up there. That's true. There's a group of people over there. Let's go listen in.
So I said, that's not a faucet. Hey, who are you two?
Oh, sorry for eavesdropping. Sounds like you were
What's the matter? They're just looking to join in on a...
Hey, don't pretend like it's okay for them to just interrupt us like that.
You hear?
Your expressions tell me you're looking to hear some juicy info, am I...
Really?
You're kidding. How often does anyone get a personal tour led by His Grace himself? Practically
A little mistake, huh? I like the way you put it. You see, people with a good attitude can join our group anytime. Unlike...
I'm Quisto, and this is Lavaroon. People usually call us the Bombshell Bros, but don't worry. We're not playing with bombs or anything.
So, you two really...
No. You don't get it. Knowing intelligence will make things better for you here. For example, knowing who's working with whom, who has the latest... Whoa, all this info's...
I don't mind him. Quisto... The welfare meals. Talk about the welfare meals.
Right. That meal...
Is that so? To tell you the truth, I've been helping out with making those...
Oh, so you're the one who made the...
You are correct. Since you like my cooking, I guess that means we share similar taste. Listen, kids. The power structure within the fortress is quite complicated. You've already met the one person here you should never cross, the Duke, Risley. He knows more than you...
Those who have the Duke's attention get all caught...
I know who you mean. It's that Jurier character, right? I don't think there's anything useful about him at...
But did you know that Churio...
I don't care if he was a researcher that could turn dirt into Mora. Once you're in the fort... Speaking of which, the last time I saw him, he was passing by in the corridor with Lorvine.
You mean he hit a woman?
But that Lorvine's also quite the odd one, you know? She's always gabbing away, got into a fight with a man, and she also...
Wait a second.
Do you think it... Could it be that...
After all, I do remember seeing Lorvine beat Jerry.
Okay, we've talked to just about everyone, and it's about time for us to go meet Linny. According to the card he left us, we should go meet him in the production.
Take it easy.
Huh? That look in your eyes.
Hey, this is no time to be modest.
Oh. Huh. I'd have never guessed that myself. The rumors swirling about this place are unreliable. He is a harbinger, after all. Unfortunately, this isn't enough for our final... Father told me that even though Master Child said he was just coming to Fontaine for a vacation, he actually had some personal...
His escape route is already flooded, so we'll have to
Well, when you put it that way, it...
Bingo!
He's working today. Coming here as a group would have attracted too much attention. It's the least I can do. Honestly, I'm far more impressed by you guys managing...
Collecting...
Now, let me think. To find out more information, and if he's to do that, he'll have to set out on the next pipe cleaning day at the earliest.
You can even estimate how...
We've been working together for a long time. Traveler, what say you to meeting here 9 days from... Oh, and there's just... Though we can just sit back and wait for Fremonet's report on Fremonet's no master of disguise. Lynette's still working on getting intel from the other areas.
What do you want us to do?
Well, I won't call it easy. Listen carefully. You'll need to find an excuse. You've mentioned several sketchy-looking people always meeting at the infirmary earlier. So it probably has something to do with the secret. Investigate the internal structure of the infirmary and any active dealings within, and pass those on to me alongside any... But also, there's no need to take risks. Don't forget, safety always comes first. No, when it comes to intelligence gathering, I'll believe anything as long as it comes...
All right, then we'll head out and...
Let's go our separate ways for now, then.
Hey, stay here for now. Paimon will take a peek. There seem to be several...
Right. It's not impossible.
It's a bit hard to understand them from here. Oh. Someone, please help! She's sick!
Whoa, are you okay?
Oh my! What's wrong, little one? There's no need to panic. Take a deep breath before you begin. The traveler started complaining of a stomachache, and then nausea, and then collapse. Freezing limbs, twitching fingers, and... Let me take a look. Please, lie down over here. Don't worry, I'll get you to the bed safely. Here, hold on to my shoulder and walk slowly. You can do it. Don't apologize. You're sick after all. Now, please relax. I'm just going to do a preliminary checkup on you. checkup has confirmed that she's not in any mortal danger. That's our worst fear out of the way. Eh? Oh, that's... I'll continue my diagnosis of the patient now. Please, relax and take a deep breath. Don't sense serious damage to your organs either. Does it hurt when I press here? And here? Huh? But based on my initial checkup, there shouldn't be a problem here. How strange. What about here? Oh, I understand. So that's what it is. I think you just ate something that disagreed with you. That's all. Nothing too serious. Outside of a pretty bad stomachache when it decides to act up. So that's what... And there have been other inmates complaining about the food recently. I'll inform our head chef, Mr. Woolsey, of this problem as soon as possible. Congratulations! The health risk is incredibly low, so you should recover within a couple days. Why don't you take a rest here while I go get some medicine for you? Miss Levine, I'll have to trouble you to help me look after this new patient while I'm gone.
Very well.
And she hopped away.
Hello. So how are you feeling now?
Her stomach ache's really bad. She was stumbling about the...
If Miss Sijuin says it's not a serious problem, then...
But it also looked...
Well, that's true.
What do you mean, that's true? That's really misrepresenting the situation. Of course I can't speak for the whole fortress. Though they may have committed crimes and gotten locked up here as a result, they still know a thing or...
Yeah, you're right. But did you have to lecture?
That's correct.
Are you two...
We've been sick a while. I come back every once in a while for checkups, and to pick up the... You could say she fancies herself as Miss Sijuin's kid.
Please watch your mouth, Mr. Jurier. Don't forget that you are the primary...
Hey, don't start arguing now, please! Hey! There's no need to fight! Everyone will be released.
Release. It's way too early for us to even think about that. And who the heck knows if we'd even be able...
Please allow me to end this boring and useless conversation.
And same to you, Miss Lorvine. Anyway, that was more than enough rest for me, so I'm going to get out of this excessively noisy place. See you later, everyone.
He just slowly walked off like that?
That's just what he's like. I'm sorry you had to see all of that. I'm Lorvine, and that's... Well, his name is Jurier, but I hope you'll never have cause to remember his name.
You really can't stand him.
I mean, can you blame me? Who would like someone who's as arrogant and obsessed with weird... I'll accompany you two for a while. Miss No-No.
I'm back! Did you rest like you promised?
Thank you for getting our medicine, Miss Sijuin.
Did you all cooperate with your bed rest? I trust that nobody got up to walk around. Good. Here, this should be 2 days' worth of medicine for you. Take 1 pill now, and then continue your bed rest. Miss Levine, I left in a bit of a hurry just now. Do you still remember if we discussed the color of the pill that you should be taking today? Yellow, huh? I understand. These are yours. Please, make sure to go to bed early after taking them tonight. You'll benefit from a good night's sleep.
All right, then I'll also be on my way now. I hope you feel better soon, too.
See ya! I'm going to fill out your medical record now. You're widely known as the Traveler, right? I just want to double-check a few details, if that's all right with you.
Those two made quite the commotion just now, so why don't we let the Traveler rest?
So her primary symptoms are abdominal pain, with secondary symptoms of nausea. Is there anything else?
That's it!
All right then.
Is there anything we should know besides to take the meds?
No, her base constitution is quite good, so I'm sure she'll recover quite quickly after taking the medicine. Please, make sure to stick to bland or less stimulating foods, and don't stay up too late at night.
Got it! Paimon will hold the Traveler to that Oh, you're going to take a nap already? We've been to lots of places together.
Oh, so you're the best of companions. Well, don't worry, she'll recover soon. Ah, you're awake.
How do you feel? You slept for a really long time, but we never...
Well, now you can go back without a worry in the world. Remember to take your meds regularly, and remember bland foods.
Thank you, Miss Sijuin!
Take it easy.
You really are something. To be able to fall asleep like that and even sleep talk the entire... No, but you kept mumbling things along the line. Paimon talked with Sijuin the entire time you were asleep. She's... Whoa! You really are super thorough. All those... Today's the day! Let's go meet up with Vinny! Oh!
Did you two run into any trouble over the past few days?
No, we just worked our shifts according to the schedule. Nothing weird happened.
That's good. That means you didn't raise any suspicions when you infiltrated the infirmary. We've taken a look at the slip you've sent. Fremine successfully left the grounds via the pipes 2 days ago. And as of last night, Lynette has also infiltrated...
Wait, why is she...
You already went above and beyond when you scoped out the infirmary. To put it more bluntly, infiltrating a guarded stronghold is a different kind of job from a one-off investigation. We want to avoid using the same faces. Lynette also felt like you have already taken the...
So that's what Lynette thinks. Oh, Paimon hopes everything...
Perhaps that's true. You are both very good people, and we've come to... You've mentioned before that you've had some run-ins with the Fatui.
Well, everyone could use some more
Since I see you as friends, then it's even more important for us. Glad to hear it. Then, let's go check on Lynette before Fremine returns. If everything went
Is now really a...
According to my observations, Sigewinne always spends around half an hour away from the infirmary. Also, I'm her brother, remember?
Okay, then...
Lynette should be here right now. Huh. Strange.
As expected, Sigewinne isn't here, but why isn't Lynette...
No, Lynette rarely deviates from the plan. Unless...
Let's see if there are any clues around here.
Okay.
There are some books here and advanced nursing? These sure are some interesting books. She even has books on understanding people's motivations and feelings.
Seems quite normal. None of the beds have any signs of having been slept in.
That's the one Lynette must have used, right?
She would have said her migraine was having a particularly bad flare-up. Generally speaking, which means either the head nurse didn't return the entire time from when...
This is it! We saw it before!
Wait, this thing? The space behind it is empty. From its size, could Lynette have tried to get inside? Let's look around here for some more clues.
Hey, you guys, there's a slip of paper!
A slip of paper?
It's right over here, and there's a bunch written on it too. It reads, "Out of respect for your usual practices, I'll use a piece of paper or card as the meeting..."
This is...
Is that all? The back?
Show me! Now!
That look, would you care to guess where Miss Lynette of the fatigue... No!
Wriothesley. Did he deliberately leave...
Wait, you mean he was aware of our goals from the very beginning? But...
Yes, that is a crucial question. Wriothesley, he doesn't do anything without a clear goal or... You're not from the same camp as us. You were sent down here by Nervulet, so you have no conflict of interest with Wriothesley. I'd like to know that too. Don't panic, just think everything over. I have to stay... Wait, you're right. The fact that Fremine was able to leave the...
But what does he gain by letting...
So he's challenging me and trying to provoke... We never should have sent out Fremine. We had to go through all that trouble to... If Wriothesley let him leave on purpose, then he's probably in a terrible spot now as well.
Lenny's getting more and more panicked. We have to calm him down. Don't be like this, Lenny. Fremine wouldn't have left if we hadn't told you about...
No, I'm the leader of this operation.
Hey, don't be reckless! Traveler, please...
I simply cannot allow Lynette to be abducted. I have to go. I'll find a way...
He's rushed out the door! After him!
Right. I feel like we still have some...
It's not impossible, but it'll require...
Is that so? Very well.
someone?
Pack everything up. Whoever's outside is eavesdropping. They'll probably come in once we stop talking.
Someone! Please help! She's sick!
Whoa, are you okay?
These two. As expected, they've already found this place. What a delightful turn of events. I like smart people, but I also like playing dumb. I like the feeling of being trusted. Oh my! What's wrong, little one? There's no need to panic. Take a deep breath before you begin. Being able to read human expressions is quite the useful skill.
Lenny! Wait! It's no use. We have to catch up to him.
Kids these days, you just can't rely on them.
He's already out of sight. How is he so fast? Let's go head him off at Risley's office.
Come out and face me!
Aren't we at an administrative office space? Why don't you at least try to follow?
What did you do to my sister?
I ran into the young miss at the infirmary. I'd heard that she was suffering from quite the migraine, so I decided...
Stop joking around! Where did you take my—
I have also heard that your performances are quite the spectacle. Maybe she'll appear behind you.
Is he trying to trick me into turning my head? No, he's probably not looking to attack me right now. You knew we were investigating the infirmary from the start, so you deliberately aroused the Traveler's suspicions and baited us into continuing our investigation. As for Fremine, no, you probably didn't even interfere with Child's escape. You let him go.
There was no need to do so. The Fortress of Meripede is a pretty pleasant place. Most people enjoy their lives here. The only ones who act differently are those with...
You removed our original members and spread the news of Child's escape so Father would assign our team to come down and investigate. Fremine has also fallen into your hands right—
One correction. Lynette is...
He's not.
Lenny!
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say that... Eager and to the point, I see. Alas, only Miss Lynette is... Although, as per your original plan, Mr. Fremine should also have returned to the fortress by now.
Wait, you can't. You locked him out.
I closed the fortress's gate to the...
Fremine's a star
No, we're still here, so we definitely try to find a way to come.
But why would I do this, you may be asking? To have an audience with you, of course. Besides, I do recall you mentioning to Miss Lynette that you've always wanted to have a face-to-face meeting with the Lord.
So, you've been keeping...
Some of my folks just happened to hear a thing or two, that's all. I was willing to play dumb and turn a blind eye, so we had a pleasant few days playing. Mr. Linney, the cards are stacked against you right now. Miss Lynette is in my hands, and Mr. You need do but one thing.
You want to see Father? But why should she bother giving you an audience?
Well, if she cares for the well-being of her dearest children, she should have plenty of motivation to join me for a parents' eve. I've heard that the bonds between the members of the House of the...
Why did you think Father sent us to handle the Fortress of Meripede? This place is basically a no-man's land. It wouldn't be fitting for anyone as important as a harbinger like Father to come here.
Oh, I see. So it's because she doesn't care for my place here.
Was this the extent of your master plan to get to Father? No matter how much pressure you may put on me, I won't allow you to use us to blackmail her.
You people really are difficult to get along with. All I'm asking for is a face-to-face conversation. Does she truly have no... Mr. Linney, you have one last...
Linny!
Instead of asking why I'm doing this, why don't you try to see things from my perspective? I gave you a warning by cutting off the first few operatives I found, but that only caused you to double down. Had you given... Mr. Fremenet left the fortress on his own, and Miss Lynette tried to pry out...
I shouldn't ask Father to do it.
6.
Wait,
2. Time's up.
Risley!
Negotiations have broken down. Please leave.
Yeah, listen to the Traveler!
You do realize that I'm only letting you go because of Neuvillette, yes? You're here helping him out, and I've already... But that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. The fortress may be small and... Then how about this? Those who are capable deserve respect. You've spent quite some time I'll ask you 3 questions. Answer all of them. Question 1. Regarding the hidden rules of the production zone, what is the truth behind the one about not being allowed to work for 3 days in a row?
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before... The Fonta promoter has been struggling. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the... Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the prisoners at work near the production zone. It seems like she can perceive the general state of a... Fonta's internal reports... The research note said that the Melusine race... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament... I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for... The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupon. Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of... Fonta's internal reports suggest... The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupon. I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just... The research note said that the Melusine race perceives the... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament... The research note said... Fonta's internal reports suggest that... The research note said that... Fonta's internal reports suggest that there's... I've been told that the infirmary... The research note said...
So that's what's going on. The hidden rule of the production zone. People are not supposed to work through... At first we thought this strange meat must have something to do with the people who disappeared. But in reality, she often visits the production zone to observe the workers out of her sense of duty as the head nurse, as well as her genuine concern for the workers' health. Sijuin has only the best intentions with her surprise gift, and doesn't want anyone... Unfortunately, Melusines as a race perceive the world differently. From the recipients of her lovingly prepared special meals cannot taste the... Are we on the...
Not bad. You've uncovered Sijuin's secret and even... Alright, now for my neck, there are also some hidden rules in the Pancration ring, including the one that you're not allowed to support both...
I've been told that the infirmary is all... Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. The research note said that the According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place... Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the research note said that the Melusine race perceives the world. According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored it. I've been told that the infirmary is always... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because the Fonta company sponsored it. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the prisoners at work near the... Fonta's internal reports suggest... The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. Meanwhile, the Duke...
Paimon gets this rule too. That hidden rule of the Pancration ring is about how people get scared when they see it because they've subconsciously begun to associate it with the missing boxer. But really, it's just a bottle of the latest yet-to-be-named and packed a blood-red drink. It's no wonder the company, facing backlash from its own staff, decided they came to the fortress of Meropide and offered to sponsor the Pancration tournament. The Duke, knowing how valuable coupons are in the fortress, knew that only total idiots who didn't understand their true value, and so only those who proved their stupidity by being dumb.
I acknowledge the effort you've put into bringing the truth of this, although based on your description, that Fonta promoter is a bit too careless with his words. I may just reconsider my collaboration with... All right, and here's the final question. What's the secret behind our head nurse and all of her patients in the infirmary?
Stop your cruel and pointless games, Risley! You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question. The thought of spare... You'll... Ah!
Lenny, are you alright?
Oh, close one.
It was nothing, Your Grace. Sijuin, though this gun may look like a toy, it's actually fully functional, as I just demonstrated.
Sijuin...
Not at all. I am merely a resident of the fortress, and thus protecting it is my duty. When Monsieur Nervulette asked me to come here, he told me that my job would be to take care of the well-being of everyone here. I am merely discharging my duties.
But if you mean what you just said, then isn't Linny someone you should be looking after as well? Isn't he a resident?
But I really am just doing what Monsieur Nervulette told me to do. Everything I did, I've done to protect them. Had I not, they would be in far more dire straits right now. His Grace no-
My dear Sijuin, whatever shall I do with you? Would it have killed you to just wait another minute or two?
Well, it's nearly time after all. The way you do things can be truly frustrating sometimes, Your Grace. I figured I should try to talk some sense into you.
What are you talking?
Take me if you want.
How touching.
Don't be like that, Your Grace.
All right, everyone, calm down. I'll go get a cup of tea. Miss...
You...
I believe I hear footsteps.
Some space, please.
Ah, Miss Cloran.
Fremine... Fremine...
What's going on? What is Cloran doing here?
Work.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Linney. The tranquilizing effect will begin to wear off soon. Please take it easy in the meantime, though.
What happened to Fremine? Wasn't he diving just outside of the fortress? Why is he looking like this?
A flushed face, an accelerated pulse. He must have consumed primordial seawater. Please, make some space. I'll need to give Mr. Fremine a more thorough checkup. Your Grace, I'll leave the rest to you.
I'll talk to Clorand while you get Fremine to where he needs to be. Everything else can wait.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
How is he?
These symptoms are probably caused by an acute ingestion of a large amount of primordial seawater. Still, his condition is not critical. Of course, it would be best if he stayed for further observation. Let's leave him here for now, and move him to the infirmary once he's recovered a bit more. Sorry. I am aware that the infirmary may not be your favorite place in the world at the moment. We do only have a single clinic in the fortress, however.
Why would he ingest a large amount of primordial seawater after leaving the fortress?
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator. Oh, I'll bring Miss Lynette back with me.
Where is she? How is she right now?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty room after I tranquilized her. If my calculations are correct, she should also be waking up right around now. You might not believe me, but His Grace and I actually made some snacks and tea for her.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
What's that look on your face? I thought I made good time on the way back.
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived? How's the situation?
The water has changed. It's pretty much as expected. The concentration of primordial seawater has increased significantly. I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to stay for any significant amount of time... well, you can see how that boy's doing.
Where was he when you found him?
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes. A good distance into the water.
Closer than I thought. He must have recognized it early on and tried desperately to swim back.
Locking the door was necessary. I don't think we could have saved two.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my...
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intentions, even when the outcomes were all terrible.
It's a bad sign if you want some tea.
Not particularly.
Fine, I'd like to get some tea. Want me to get you a cup too, since I've already made it?
Might as well then, I suppose. Actually, do you have a towel? I would like to dry my hair.
Linny, are you okay?
I'll be fine. They're all here now. Don't worry about me.
Are you sure?
My hands and feet are still a bit weak.
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny! Oh, Traveler, Paimon, you're here too. Fremine? Is he...
He'll be fine. But for now, please help me lift him up.
His breathing's beginning to slow down.
Give me a hand and help me get him to the infirmary.
Yeah, I'll take him from this.
On it. Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him. Want to come with us?
The Duke and Clarande are gone.
They probably went to get some tea. The Duke will explain the truth in just a bit. Miss Clarande will need a break, since she only just returned from rescuing Fremine out of the sea.
He's awake.
We're all here.
The infirmary, at the Fortress of Meripede, Mr. Fremine. And you are no longer in any danger.
How do you feel?
Traveler. The sea. There's something wrong with...
Shh, it's okay.
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular pipes. Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now. I'm in. Where could Master Child be? This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it? Frost is coming!
This is where the water starts. Master Child probably dived into the... Yeah. The vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them, and recently. There are traces here too. I need to keep going. Huh? The traces are gone. But I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait. What the... My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it. I can't die here. I have to push on.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where Master Child could have gone.
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but...
Miss Clarande brought you back, but we all...
Miss Clarande, you say?
You're still too weak for Monet.
Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarande will stay here as a guest for another few days, so there's no need to hurry.
A guest? Then I can...
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be able to explain better than me.
Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. What?
No, please go on without me.
Lenny.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but...
Understood. Then let's just sit together for a while.
In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out for now. As long as you stay in here, I don't think you'll be disturbed.
Thank you.
Guest.
For Monet.
Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarande...
I have to push on.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
I take it Mr. Fremonet's
Of course! I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire?
I wanted to check up on Miss Claran. How are you feeling?
Mostly fine, I think.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam. It'll just take a few minutes.
All right. Thank you for looking out for me. I'll take my leave for now, then.
Well, want to explain yourself, Rise?
Of course, but I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. How about enlighten? Where should I begin?
Then Paimon will...
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific...
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them.
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at discerning what that kind of behavior signals. Initially, I thought their goal was just... Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape. But in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Everything he did, from finding helpers to leaving this place, he did on his own. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went. So I figured I might as well...
So you were hoping Lin...
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. The Forbidden Zone has always been Linny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to prevent the fortress from becoming...
True?
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself? Another form of prison? I just happen to have some support from the rest.
Oh, right! Paimon wanted...
Me, of course. I paid her good... As a champion duelist, Miss Claran could be considered to be an independent party.
And saving Fremen...
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, that's not something you should be asking after. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw...
You make a compelling case.
Yeah, Paimon
Even if the truth may not be pleasant, follow me.
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of... Stand on the
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa! So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, what a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go in. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little...
Well,
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of the...
So there's a switch on...
Stand back.
Whoa! They all just went up one by...
Go on, have a... I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed. If normally I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after
The concentration of...
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and Yes.
But forget about the two of us! Not even Neuvillette knows where the primordial sea could be! Oh.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and the indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all. Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the primordial sea?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us. When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside. Some of them began to repent. and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon. And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow. As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles died, they left. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever longer. And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as but as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls after many, many centuries. Few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar of Fontainian society, as the place where criminals deserve to be sent. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian.
But now you know every part of that history is true.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. If this gate fails, then everyone will be dissolved into the sea. To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecy from proving all too accurate. Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time. Let's go somewhere else. This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last round of
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone.
Huh?
No need to panic, you two.
What? After you warned us not—
I'm skeptical as well.
The results speak for themselves, don't they?
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
様より舞台にふさわしい方が果たしているだろうか。
終わりが見えない。すごく寂しい。一体いつまで耐えればいいんだ。
Who else deserves to take the stage more than Lady Farina?
I prefer magic personally. They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for...
How about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin.
He's the one who blew the whole institute sky high.
Edwin's main areas of research were archium and gravimeters. As his assistant...
You want to...
What a lovely idea.
Gotta admit,
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to...
Ooh, are they...
See? Everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a...
Your Grace,
if I dated her, I'd officially be madder.
Jeez. Follow me.
Whoa! There's another door that goes right up!
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool!
An independent party. Begin. Her I'm the only one.
Whoa! They all just went up one by...
Go on, have a... What lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. But over the past year... Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
What a huge... ship? This is also a production zone that Paimon's never...
How much do you know about Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. According to legend, The Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge, he called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes.
There's a ship in the story.
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe...
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. So the moment I began to speculate that the Primordial Sea might lie underneath the gate...
Were you inspired by the legendary...
Maybe. Fontainians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator? Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another seems like you're good. I'll leave you here for now.
Oh!
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought in...
Great.
We're back!
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so much like Risley?
Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, I just remembered something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear two people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so it should have been the two of them. They really were just talking about brewing tea.
I really can't...
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn any...
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sijwin is also busy with something or other. So, let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was...
Ooh, he's good.
That's our landing.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, what's more, the Fortress of Meripede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it as long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Risley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
You're super...
Thanks. If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now, that can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what is...
The sea will engulf everyone. Just like the prophecy said.
Could Risley have wanted to meet Father to... If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operation.
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side, which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand the two of you have already aided us far too much. If you ever need anything else going forward, though you may not share the sentiment, after all the...
You have my
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to do it.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
Given your strength, you might not need our help at all. But if you are ever in danger, we will try our best to protect you.
Aww, the sound... Paimon's hungry.
Oh, you've done so much already.
Alright, then we'll catch...
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well! Traveler and Paimon! Over here! Are you here for dinner too, Miss? Mm-hmm. And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss Cloran's dinner as well. Huh. You're right! What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like. Me too! Don't forget Pop! No problem. Just leave it to me. So delicious. Is this how it feels to be freeloaders? Feeling full yet? How's the food? Delicious! I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see, the expression on your face just now? The muscle here just moved, which suggests that you're feeling quite relaxed at the moment. Sigewin, do you do this to help? A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melusine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you. You're really good at taking care of people. Even though really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to hear. Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. I was getting a bit worried after hearing that something was wrong with the water. Thankfully, Glorand, although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss Glorand had returned. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linney as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger. You were all super considerate. It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's style for as long as he's been the leader. Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nervula would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here, with all the darkness and chaos. Get a good night's rest, you two. You both worked very hard.
Take it easy.
So much has happened. Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's finally relaxed. Paimon's super sleepy. Delicious.
Out of my way! Get what happened! Why is there no idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey! What are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey! What's wrong with these people?
They're here! Yeah! There you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
Quisto and Laveroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Laveroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible. Up.
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey!
We have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without him!
Hey! Be kept!
Attention. Please evacuate upwards and outwards. Upwards and outwards. If you're already at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
Huh.
You're just in time. But be ready to run. Three, 2, 1.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Neuvillette? Why are you here?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina, and make sure she doesn't spend... Will do. You have my...
Look! There are a ton of Fatilian Palais Mermonia people! Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Neuvillette, though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give rise to violence.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course, of course! How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the Knave, one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I. I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Neuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Neuvillette. Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the Fortress of Mirapede.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
The Fortress of Mirapede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced safely? Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the Opera House. Is it something like that?
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded.
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Farina.
Huh? I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
Hey guys, Chopper. I am, of course, ley lines of Teyvat. A bigger likely predate elemental. He also has a fairy tale account of the sun. Extreme is of the presumed nouns, neither bound by Teyvat's time either, given that both the primordial one actually does go by it, not he entity is the select.
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled, and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day! This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe. This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess, we're safe.
Indeed.
I win this bet.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now?
So what gift must the...
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested.
That was obvious. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Marmonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house. Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And you haven't a clue?
What are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontainian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable? The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures!
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high!
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending disaster?
emergency response plan?
Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Nouvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Farina, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
Yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone. Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise. You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer. Oh, Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality. Yes, and we must thank the knave for bringing these over as well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. And I was merely catering to Miss Farina's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way.
Paimon's coming too.
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude. Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? The House of the Hearth is very important to me. You should know that I care deeply about my children. That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against—
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Farina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared—
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any—
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Farina, a Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh? Come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious. Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me! I'm begging you, please!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Farina dares not mention this incident to anyone. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Farina quietly cried alone. She was so scared that she could not sleep that night, nor could she even bring herself to eat her cake. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article. I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the context—
Probably the handiwork of that Wriothesley. I'm afraid this is a good opportunity. The value of a Harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the Fontaine authorities. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Iudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three. Yes, Father. Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my excuse, I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Farina and Eudex Neuvillette. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the fortress of Meripede will be a front. Linny and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence gathering. You should know the rest. Linny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you. It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Farina herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort ever happened. I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Eudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now, that doesn't seem right to me either. I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Eudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon. Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday. He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to him.
Neuvillette?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. Thank you for protecting Farina. To put it simply, I used my power to... So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying to feel her out. Permission granted.
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? You can't tell us?
If by the phrase, you guys, you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics. I believe so. The fortress has a long and now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of...
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking? The dragon of... Huh?
Please do not.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we?
You guessed correctly.
Right. There's...
Please.
Well, if you are the dragons, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater...
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world myself included. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental archons and 7 matching dragons.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Oh, so even you can't.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay enough? We'll see you another time.
Take care.